It's okay. It's just
Good. Well, besides my shorts, how's spring going so far?
awesome. Great first couple days. We found great ways to compete. I mean, there's natural competitions that are happening, but the guys are flying around. I think they like the energy. I'm very happy with the first couple days.
Coach mentioned this with the younger receivers. I know you'd rather have Emeka and Julian out there getting work, but the benefit to you to getting other reps for?
Not really. I'm glad that they can get everything fixed up because I'm enjoying having these young guys get opportunities, and they're doing a hell of a job. The last 2-year guys are taking strides. The freshmen came in very determined and have been on top of their responsibilities, knowing their plays, and so I'm really excited for all of spring because of that. I mean, not that I wouldn't want them with me. I obviously do. But they'll be back. They'll be back to do some things later in spring, my understanding, and just probably not a lot of teamwork, but they'll get some individual work.
They're talking about how that freshman group is going to really push the second-year guys. Have you already sort of seen that, whether in winter workouts?
Yeah, already seen it, but no different than when Mech and Marv and these guys came in behind Jackson and Julian and the whole class. It's no different. JB coming in and running against Garrett and making him run because JB, that's one thing he does really well. So, the way that Mech would go after Garrett pushes him too. So we've had that consistency. I love seeing it so early on.
Does that second group maybe need that?
Everyone needs it. The reason why they're here is because they were looking for that. They're chasing the ones in front of them, and they are looking forward to the competition behind them. That's never going to change. And then hopefully we're having the same conversation about the guys next year about this class. So that won't change.
Brian, the offense has been so dynamic since Coach Day has been here, since you have been here. So I know as an offensive coordinator, you don't need to fix anything, but what are you looking to enhance? I know you guys probably want to get better at everything. Yep. Is there one or two things you're looking to really enhance?
I think that there's always a level of consistency you can always continue to chase. I think that's one thing. And we have our ways of doing that. I think at times we probably felt maybe there was a lull here or there when things were going on, even last year. Trying to eliminate that. How to do that is what we're diving into and what we're trying to get done. But that's probably one thing that we're looking to enhance. Probably, the amount of explosive plays is continue to be explosive. We can see we have explosive players, we have explosive ideas, but the execution of explosive plays could be enhanced. But I think at the end of the day, like you said, we've been very productive, but I do have a pride that there's still more meat on that bone. And frankly, we have not, accomplished our goals the last 2 years. So that's easy to identify. We got to do that, and we got to play our part.
What's it been like for you these first 2 days as offensive coordinator, first 2 practices? Has it been fun? Has it been a little bit of a
Yeah, it's been a blast. I think that, I love to, again, be able to reach more guys and talk to more guys and have a lot of wider reach. But I would say, yeah, I've enjoyed it, but on to the next day.
It looked like you were spending some time with the quarterbacks today. Obviously, more involvement there than you would have had in the past. And just what is that like now, being maybe part of the evaluation process of this decision that's happening?
Yeah, probably, more the evaluation process. Coach Dennis does a great job, and I think that, and the guys that help him, with Coach Fitch and everything, inside the building and things like that. I'm not necessarily spending any more time there at all. I mean, I'll obviously probably be a part of the conversation as we eval and do all those things, try to identify what each guy does best and make sure we play to that. But that was nothing out of the norm.
What do you feel like you can maybe add to that as a receivers coach? Is there something that you can add as far as your perspective on it?
Yeah, I think perspective's key. I think perspective in everything's key. I think, what we're trying to do and them understanding our trials and tribulations and then us understand what they're trying to do and then their trials and tribulations. I think perspective changes outcomes, mindsets change habits and change actions. So just giving guys perspective of what we're going through, maybe a nugget here and there, what motivates my guys, it's just being able to have more conversation, relate more to more guys, quarterbacks being one of those groups.
Day has said he wants to be more of a CEO of offense and defense. Have you seen that so far in the first couple days of spring?
Maybe a little. I would say that Coach Day is still Coach Day. We're elite because of what Coach Day brings to the table. So you don't want to steer too far from what he's been continuing to do. So, but I'm sure he has goals that he's trying to accomplish through spring. We all each have individuals. We have offense and defense. We have team goals. All those things. I'm sure there's things he identified he wanted to do better, and he's probably trying to do that first day of spring. But his energy and what he brings to the table offensively will never change.
How do you think Marvin has looked as a punt returner?
I don't know. You guys went on some tangent about punt returning the other day. I didn't know where that came from. Like, he caught one punt, and you guys were like, "Oh, he's the starter." I was like, "Wow, it's really spring ball." You can tell. So, what do I think about Marvin catching punts?
Do you think he could do it?
Yeah, he can do anything you want him to do. I think a lot of guys can do a lot of things if we want him to do it, but we're going to try to identify the best guy to do it. I mean, can he do kickoff returns too? Probably don't want to do that. So, again, just a total eval. All kidding aside, we want to build a good depth of guys, because it's amazing how quick you get a guy tweaked, or now we have a shoulder, he's not back there, like he's playing receiver, he's not going back there to catch punts. So you got to make sure you have a good depth of guys, and that's a great opportunity for young guys to get reps. But when you have maybe you got to have a situation, he may be one of those guys that would be on that list.
When you look at Marv, he didn't get the Blitnikoff last year, and he's not kind of afraid to share that he thinks he should have gotten it.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that has two eyes could tell he should have got that. But.
So when you see a guy that's already that good getting ready for another season, how much better can he be?
Oh my gosh, so much better. I mean, does he want to be an old head or an old veteran compared to who? Like the 18-year-old? Or is he comparing himself to Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams? I mean, perspective is, I don't even know how you would think anything otherwise besides the things he's trying to chase is not amateur and on a smaller level like, college football. I mean, I think his goals, like a lot of our guys, not just him, it's not sheltered at college football. I think he has perspective and wants to chase his dad. So the small-mindedness, I don't think really Marvin has ever possessed that. He's always been pushed to think big, and I think he's probably doing that.
Do you see that trickling down the rest of this group at all? Like,
say it again?
Do you see that trickling down to the rest of this group thing?
Absolutely.
As example.
So that was kind of our conversation. It's like it's day one spring, but who are we chasing? Are we just chasing, what's great about it is there's a bunch of guys that are younger that are chasing Emeka, Julian, and Marvin, and Xavier. And then those guys are chasing somebody they can't see every day. These guys get to see the best receivers in the country every day and chase them. That's the best thing that's got going for any young athlete, to see it every day, how they operate. And you can see that now. It's an influence on these guys. The hard part is for the guys that are in the front of the room. They're chasing people they don't see every day, and how they work every day. So they've got to play with an imagination, and I think they're doing that.
Brian, you mentioned that second group of receivers, the extra reps they're getting now with Emeka and Julian out. What do you want to see from them this spring to take full advantage of this reps?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, we didn't get a lot of reps at receiver during Saturdays, so there's a lot of things they got to prove and show. I don't think any box has been checked. So anything it takes to be a receiver at the highest level, to be one of the top returning receivers every year, to be one of the best in one of the best rooms in the country, they've got a lot of things they still need to show. So there's really no box that's been checked.
Brian, what do you see from Xavier Johnson in terms
No.
of where he was at last year, where he's at now?
Xavier's awesome. The growth he's had over the last 12 to 18 months has been awesome. A true offensive weapon. I mean, his ability to be an elite receiver and also go in the backfield and carry the football, pick up protections. I mean, there's so many things that young man brings to the table, let alone special teams. Like, to me, he's going to play football for a long time, barring health. That's now you're seeing the right lines. Outside those white lines, he is a great young man. I mean, Cam Babish. I mean, that's what I always think. Cam Babish is an amazing young man. That's just, he's created a standard. Everyone kind of knows that. X is in line with all that, just with the rest of some other guys too. But big man of faith, great leader with the young guys, willing to speak up. The future is bright for Xavier, in my opinion.
What's been your impression of the quarterbacks?
What's that?
What's been your impression of the quarterbacks?
They're competing. They're going against each other. We're not shy about it. Whether it be in rope pools in the winter or whether it be period to period, they're competing and they're doing a hell of a job with it. Now, the ability for them to still coach each other and hold each other accountable, done a good job with that. Sometimes when you're competing, it's hard to be a good teammate. That's just the reality of it. But they're still being great teammates, and they're going every day. They're trying to put their best foot forward, and that's been evident.
Do you think this receiver group will be confident in either guy?
No, I mean, I think yes.
Coach Day was talking about that the plan was for you to call plays during spring. He wasn't sure what the plan was going to be during the fall, but he mentioned during scrimmage
Yep.
and stuff. I'm sure you've got to be looking forward to that, getting a chance to call plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's like playing Madden, I guess. I mean, you know, so yeah, the more I can continue to be involved and grow, I'm excited about that. It's kind of been the whole path through sports in general. But we'll see how it all plays out.
Jaden Ballard, I want to ask about him.
Yep.
Fans ask about him. He's entering his third year now. Obviously, he's got some good guys ahead of him. What does he need to do, in your opinion, to see the field this year?
You know, I would say Jaden, his play speed's got to continue to grow. Got some of the best hands on the team. His route's got to continue to grow. His body language has continued to grow. The game within the game's got to continue to grow. There's still a lot of growth there, but he literally is just he has not taken steps back. Where some guys take a step forward, 2 steps back. He hasn't done that. He's continued to grow and get bigger, and now he's over 195 pounds, and he's running fast and great ball skills. We just got to make sure the whole totality of being a receiver continues to grow, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to pull a guy off the field to put you on, you got to do what he does. I mean, I'm not going to pull the left tackle off and put the next guy in for everybody to feel good. So you got to be able to do that. And if he's deserving of that, he'll be out there. And that goes for any position. You got to make sure there's not a fall off if you're going to get opportunity to be on the field on Saturday, not because of the coaches, but because you owe it to your peers. And that's just the reality of sports. So he's continued to do that. He's shown every sign that he's going to get that accomplished at some point. So.
Will Rogers, pretty impressive physically. Just how did he do this winter leading into the spring?
You know, I think the freshmen as a whole have a seriousness about them. They have a purpose about them. They know their plays. They find ways to put the good things on film. They have a high standard, so we got to work on not getting down on ourselves at time, because they do have a high expectation, which is good. But there's got to be a fine balance. But the whole group has done a great job, and Noah especially has done a great job.
Why did you like him so much, in a recruiting standpoint, to bring him here?
Because he's a good football player. No, I'm kidding. He's a great. If you ever get a chance to, you guys obviously haven't met Noah. Noah is a great individual. I mean, I don't know if there's one person that asked about my family more through recruiting than Noah Rogers. I mean, he's compassionate. He has a high GAS. You guys, can use that factor. Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, he just really has the ceiling that's not calculable. He can be that good. It all comes down to what kind of work he puts in. But again, he shows every bit he wants to put the work in. So. Great young man.
When you look at the spring ahead of you, what are you kind of hoping to grow in?
Everything I do is always new, I feel like. So everything. There's not really one thing at this point that I would call myself an expert at. So I'm gonna continue to grow. Everything.
How do you balance, as the OC, trusting the assistants below you and giving them space to coach, and then also being the overseer?
That's easy. I mean, I'm surrounded by elite coaches, and so any kind of confidence I have is stemming from them. They have to be surrounded. If I'm a quarterback, I'm going to be very, very confident because of the offense that we have, the personnel that we have around me, the coaching around me. That's the confidence he should have. I have that kind of confidence. The players we're able to coach, the staff around me, Coach Day, nudge. I mean, all that. So. To me, I just got to be myself, and then if I get too far off the tracks, I expect somebody to put me back, and then we just keep going forward.
Marvin seems like the same kid he was when he was being recruited. I mean, he's got a Hall of Fame father. He's become a superstar here. How does he stay so grounded? That's just how he is?
I think the chase he's on, he's nowhere near where he wants to be. So in his mind, he doesn't know what everybody's celebrating. So you guys are celebrating, but he's not. He's still on that same chase. So that would be my assumption. That's probably a good question for him. But him and the others. I mean, I don't know if Mech's changed. Julian hasn't changed a whole lot. He's grown a lot. They've all grown a lot. But I wouldn't say anybody's really changed. So I think that the chase that they're on is probably the biggest factor.
For Marvin, is there an area for him you think he could grow and really develop or targeted area for improvement this spring ball for him?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the more situations he can get put in, the more the more he can learn. There's things that happen that he hasn't experienced yet. He is big, he is strong, he is fast, but to do that and get bigger, stronger, and faster and maintain and play in the fall, a little stronger, a little faster, a little more consistent, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's not like he doesn't know how to run around. It's not like a Mecca does not, or Julian or Xavier. It's, can we do it stronger, faster, with more anticipation, more consistently. That's what we're chasing. It's not the ability to, it's more the how often conversation. So, and how fast and how good. So he's chasing that. His growth, be able to carry more speed through breaks, to stop even faster, to stop cleaner, to make every contested catch. If my catch percentage is 92%, I want to be 93, on targeted balls. There's always an ability to grow. And I think, again, it's a little harder to find the inches. Some people are looking for feet of growth. He's looking for inches, but they're still there. He knows that, and we've had that conversation. And I know that.
Some of the, if you're trying to measure the speed of the route or speed of the break,
Yep.
is that GPS technology?
No, it's just, you can tell. You can watch it. I mean, yeah, maybe. Quantitatively, you can probably check that out a little bit. But he knows. He feels it. He knows the cleanliness. He knows when there's a misstep. So we're just trying to chase that all the time. And, yeah.
Caleb Brown, if he earns playing time, what do you see his role being? Is he a guy that can help in the slot? Just what do you see out of Caleb Brown?
Yeah, I think right now that's probably where he's been playing the most and the most opportunity. I do think he's got a chance of being a returner, and he's strong, he's fast, he's got good hands, and from an athlete perspective, he's got a lot of those traits. So between the slot or being a returner is definitely somewhere Caleb can help us.
What was your reaction to James coming back, Laurinaitis?
I think it was good for the players. I think having guys like him and his makeup, regardless of being a good player or not, the way he operates, the way he communicates, the way he is as a father, the way he is, with his church and faith, like he's a great role model. I think he's going to relate well. I think the guys will listen early on because of the track record, but what he does after that conversation starts is what it's all about, right? So, but for the Buckeyes and for the players currently here, a blessing for them.
You'll make them better.
I think so.
Brian, Caleb Brown's over there talking about making that transition from high school running back to receiver, and how different he feels. How have you seen him, I guess, morph into more of a receiver than a running back?
Yeah, that's, we're on the same page. I think he knows that transition. I think that there is, just the things you do at running back that's different at receiver. The scope of the game, feeling space, having anticipation, understanding, coverages. There's just so much to that takes time. And, I think that he's definitely putting in the work to get that done. But it's not about, if he can do it. I know he can. It's just when. So the chase is to get that done as fast as possible. Yep.
Brian, you've been on a lot of football teams in your past before you became a coach. How important is it to find that starting quarterback as soon as possible? I mean, does it make a difference?
I don't know. I think we're getting a lot of good work. I don't think, especially not now, it's definitely not a rush. I think that, trying to think, TCU, when did Max Duggan start? Week 2?
Yeah.
How'd that go? So I think that it's always good to build chemistry, but I think we do that in all that we do, not just X's and O's and running plays. The routes we've had, the time spent. If they weren't building relationships last year, shame on them. No, I think it's important. I think that I would lean heavily on Coach Day and Coach Dennis in that conversation of when. But I think that we're in the world of we'll make things work regardless of situation.
But when you're an offensive coordinator now, when you're envisioning where this offense is going, is the guy steering? How important is the guy?
I think competition is the best to create the best out of somebody. So the longer we can have competition, the higher the demand, the more stress, the better the outcome.
And as you see these two, well, we think the prime combatants are Kyle and Devin.
Yeah.
For the starting job, obviously. As you see these guys, what is your take on where they can take this offense? Meaning, some people think there's going to be a drop-off this year losing CJ. Some people, Mm-hmm. What is your sense of the talent you've got on hand in that regard?
Well, I think they did the same thing when CJ took over.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So I'm not really concerned about that.
No, but
we have great players,
Yeah.
and the offense is going to be great, and it's going to be geared for our players that are playing on Saturdays, just like it was different with Dwayne and then Justin and then a little different with CJ, and it'll take the mold of the best players we have, and that's what good coaches do. So whoever wins that spot, we're going to make sure the offense fits the players.
Yeah. But my point, I guess what I'm saying is we don't get to watch these guys every day like y'all do.
I know.
Do you see two elite guys? Are those two guys elite in your opinion?
Yes, they're all elite.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what defines that in your mind?
What defines that? Well, everyone has the capabilities of being elite. No one's elite until they are elite. So I don't just pass out, awards before they're earned.
Yeah.
So, everyone, could Marvin be elite? Sure. Could Mech? Sure. We don't say he's elite until he's elite, and he earned that.
Yeah.
So do they have the ceiling for whatever they want to accomplish? Yes. Will they accomplish it? It's on the collective. It's on him. It's on them. It's on us. It's on the collective to get that accomplished.
Brian, heard Caleb Burton might have got banged up on Tuesday. Do you know if you're going to happen the rest of the spring?
Day to day, I have no idea. Day to day.
What do you think of Devin wearing the 33? I think it's kind of cool that he's giving a shout out to Sammy Ball.
Really?
History, first quarterback ever inducted into the Hall of Fame. What do you think of him wearing the 33?
I have a lot of things that I think about. I don't have time to put that as one of them into my opinion-based thoughts.
That's why I waited so long to interview to ask you about
Yeah,
that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that thrilling question.
Is there a process going on for you right now, and maybe not right now during the spring, but have you been in a process of studying other offensive coordinators or reaching out to people?
Yeah, I mean,
Obviously not good ones here, but-
we have one of the best. We have the best in college football, like 30 feet from me.
Understood.
So,
You were talking about-
but no, I think that I've always connected with the guys I know, and just nuggets here and there, thoughts, all those kind of things. And I'm looking forward to it. A lot of guys have been awesome. So, but I always expand it. It's not more about being, I guess, offense coordinator, but it's more with the balancing of time and reaching with people and suggestions that way, than anything else. Yeah.
You have like a million things you want to do, and then you have to narrow it down to what you can actually do.
No, not really. I think that, I'm not really like the type to just draw thousands of plays. Like that's not where I'm at. That's not how my brain works. The things we do, I want to do it at a very, very high level, and with extreme, efficiency, and provide advantage to the players as much as possible based on the plays. That's kind of where how my brain kind of operates. A lot of plays are really good. If it's not good because it's press man and we're not good versus press, well then just move the guy. Still a good play, So I'm more of a simplistic mind, in my opinion.
I sort of remember 2 years ago you giving a message to the receivers that a new quarterback is coming in, the quarterback competition is happening. They maybe had to step up their game. Similar message at all?
Say that again.
I sort of remember 2 years ago you were kind of telling the receivers they had to sort of elevate their game with the new quarterbacks coming in. You were going to be breaking in a first-time quarterback.
Gotcha.
I'm just curious if you passed along a similar.
No, I don't think so. I think, it's a thought. That message has never hit me. I think that there really is a really good connection. I think that, the difference here, in my opinion, is that the receivers are now the older guys, but they've kind of been around each other a lot. I know Garrett and Chris were kind of the older guys, I guess, a little bit with CJ, but I just don't feel like it's that much of a difference. I don't know why. I just feel like these guys have been around each other, been throwing a lot on their own, maybe a little different. I don't know. But it feels like, Kyle, he's the same age as Marv and Mac and JB, and they've been in that class. So and Kyle and Devin still, I don't know. He's going to be a second-year guy. So I don't know. It doesn't feel as different for whatever that means. Not saying it's not. Devin's was more like CJ, right? But for whatever reason, there feels to be more of a connection between the quarterbacks, both Devin and Kyle, and the wideouts, just kind of leading into it. I don't know. So,
what do you see from that connection with Kyle and Marv? Obviously, they played together in high school, but now you're seeing it with the ones every day. What is it like?
I think that I think our receivers are a pretty easy group to get on the same page with. So, I know they have a chemistry maybe, and they may have a thing, or I really don't know. I would just say that they're both doing a great job of that. And, Marv and Mech and Jew and Xavier and all these guys are making plays regardless of kind of who's throwing it. So, I think the growing of chemistry or the enhancement of any kind of chemistry, we'll see it take shape over the next probably 4 weeks after we get back.
This probably sound weird.
Could be. It's okay.
Do you have to learn how to work at this level?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. People think they know how to work. They have no idea, and it's not their fault. Some guys, very few, had of it, and there's some guys in my mind that come to mind, and I'll keep those to myself. But that is the biggest, probably, learning curve early on. The plays will come. We run a pretty complex scheme, a lot of demand from the different things we do. So that's a curveball. But learning how to work definitely is number one.
Is there a window where when do you usually see that click?
Yep.
And is there a window when you go, if it hasn't clicked by now, the light's probably not going?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I think guys kind of get it, a little bit, and if they don't get it, then yeah, it's probably not going to work out here, But I would say that's kind of something the mid-years get. That really helps, to come in January. Holy crap, winter workouts. What is this? And then you get into spring ball. Holy, it's you again. And then by the time you get to a summer workout, you're like, oh no, I got this. And then you hit the fall camp, you've already done it. And the guys that are coming in June, they're still going to be figuring it out. The guys that get done with spring ball are there. The guys that come in June are figuring that out at the end of fall. And now it's week 1. So you just see the understanding of that. That's why a lot of times those guys in June, they really start adding in, like the Chris Olaves come mid-season, end of the first season, if they have figured it out. Everyone is different. You never know how it defies itself, but learning how to work one and the complexity of scheme is definitely then too. Yep.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, man.
But seriously, what are your thoughts on 33?
I think some guys that know me could probably answer it for me. I think. But I mean.